I am Aya Bruvere, and I am the manager of Career Center and also Alumni Center at RISEBA University. And I am also the creator of the Career of the Future project, or panel discussion series. And this discussion particularly focuses on architecture and design, and we are lucky to have 2 graduates already of our RISEBA architecture faculty to join us today. And let me start with this, and where you could introduce yourself as well a little bit with the first question. The first question is about your own experience and your own path in architecture. What is it like? Let me start with Solvita. How about that?
Yeah, hi, thank you for having me here. So my architectural experience began when I was 16, so it's 17 years ago. And 10 years ago I finished Riga Building College, and then I moved to Denmark and finished my bachelor as a constructing architect. And then I worked hard and for some 5 years, and I'm mom of 2 beautiful daughters. And now recently, 2 years ago, I finished my master degree in RISEBA, which was a wonderful experience. And I have my own company as Kvites Architects, and there's a lot of going on. So I'm happy to share something with you. So that's my short story.
Okay. How about Alysher? How about you? Can you tell me about your experience and past in this field?
Hello. I'm glad as well to be here. I want to start that I'm from Kazakhstan. I came to study here from Almaty, but I think I came to architecture from a more artistic, from the art world. And I enrolled in a professional art school in 2003, where I studied for 5 years. And then after that, I studied more 4 years in College of Art and Design, also in Almaty. Then there were several courses on interior design and philosophy of design. And then I kind of smoothly changed my way from art to interior design and to architecture. So then I came here in Latvia to study architecture. And now currently I'm writing my master thesis, which I should defend in the end of January.
Thank you, Alysher. Dagnija, tell me, I understand you are more in the design world. Tell me, Dagnija, how is your path and what's your experience that shaped you in this field?
Yes, thank you, Aya. Yes, I'm a person who is working more in design, but I'm not a designer. I'm manager or business lead. What I'm doing, I'm lead of one of the leading design companies in Latvia. In design company, it's H2E, which is working with the space design. It means interior design, exhibition design, also graphic design and wayfinding design, which is quite a new field in Latvia. I have more than 17 years experience in leading this design company. I have 5 higher education degrees in business management, in law, and also creative industries management. And I think that's from me all.
Yes, I hear you all have lots of already experience, and this is not it yet. But my question will actually be about that, the first question. We will kind of talk about the tendencies in the world of architecture and design in some way. But my first question is actually about where is in your mind, where does it seem to be going? Does it seem to be going in the direction that people get more focused and more specialized in a narrow understanding of one particular area? Or does it seem to be going in the need of a more broader knowledge base and knowledge of the techniques, processes, ways to do things? How about starting from Dagnija this time? Would you answer this for me, please?
Yes, as design professionals, what I see that I would say the second option, what you said, designers are in the same time focusing, but in the same time, designers should see what's around, and they need to have this multidisciplinary brains or abilities to work. For example, in our projects, if we work for a museum, for exhibition design, the team doesn't consist only of designers or exhibition designers. The team consists of exhibition designers, of graphic designers, who should see all the area. And also we very usually have some people from the history, historians, psychologists. I don't know, I can't imagine any profession which wouldn't be a part or couldn't be a part of our team. And I would say that designers or people who are related to design should have more broader approach or broader view in this profession, and it becomes more and more crucial. There was a discussion about the profession codes in Latvia, and we have design specialists, and the design leading design like office asked us if we need to have or we see that it would be needed to have like a product designer in this list, or interior designer or graphic designer. And I would say that yes, we can do that, but in our office we are not like saying that this person is only exhibition designer. In our office, the designer should work with space, and it means interior design, environmental design, and also exhibition design. And yes, it's going like more broader.
Yes, I understand. Sure. What about how about Alysher? How about you? What do you feel? What is your feeling about this going broader and needing to know like everything and more, or having a more specialized field and a more specialized area that you focus on? Where is the profession going?
Well, first of all, I agree with Dagnija, with the words she said. I always saying, I mean, when somebody is saying that the architect is a specialist, I'm always try to say opposite, that the architect is not a specialist, but he is more a conductor of a large orchestra, and that the architect should know everything, like a little bit of everything, to really control the process, especially if a very large construction project is going on. And what else? The second part of the question, I think it depends on the architect and on the company and the ideology, basically they are dealing with, because there are such offices like Skidmore, Owings and Merrill, which are it's already not an office, it's a like architectural corporation. Or let's say we could take another example as Peter Zumthor Architects, which is a very small office, and they I think more working with the poetics of space and with the philosophy of space, and this is something very different. So I myself, I think more in the poetics. I'm always saying that I don't like the big commercial projects, only if it's related to culture or to education, but not maybe I don't know, big offices. This is definitely not my kind of interest.
Interesting perspective. I like the metaphor of poetics and that kind of idea, and also the orchestra. But anyway, Solvita, now I will ask you, what is your perspective on this?
Yeah, I also agree to the previous speakers, but the one thing, of course, it depends on the ideology of your company. Where are you leading as a company? For myself, like I like to manage the process from the very beginning, from the sketch till the end. So yes, we as a project managers, we are, as Alysher said this, we are leading this orchestra and trying to put everything together. But of course, in my team, to solve this, the person must be specifically good at something. You can be good at everything. And I need BIM managers, constructing architects, interior designers, and architects more as artists who are dealing with some nice details. And yeah, to get it done, I need this team. So yeah, it's kind of architect must know, the main architect must know a bit of everything, but to get done this project, we need several professionals in this field. That's what I feel and see in my field.
Maybe if it's okay, I can also add, I agree with Solvita, and yes, of course, you can't be a doctor and architect or designer in the same time. But what we are looking for, if someone is joining our team, is the brains. We are saying that you are not reading just one book in your study time, you are not finishing the school. That's very good. People should have this very good academic background, but it's just a starting point. What I'm saying, you should have a brain and you should have ability to see what's around, what's happening, for example, now, how people's habits are changing, and you should be able to answer to all these changes. And that's the main point I would say to the people, to see in a broader way what's going around and how you can answer. And it means that, yeah, you can't be just a doctor who is, or architect or designer who is doing just one very focused thing, but you should be good in what you are doing, but you should see and answer what is around and how you can act and what you can do with this.
Exactly, that's about this team. You should analyze your task and to cooperate with your team to get it done. So you have to understand what's going around, but still focusing on what you are good at.
I see there are a bit of a multiple perspectives on this, but they kind of form the similar universe of thought that the person should be also very broadly educated also, and very developed as a person to be architect, I guess. My other question that I want to ask you all, as in some way experts in the field in architecture and design, what are you feeling are the current tendencies that drive the development, that drive the way things are created and designed? What would you say are current important tendencies? And I'll ask Alysher to start on this.
Yeah, thanks, Aya. Well, the tendency is a good question, but here again, I think if the architects are very like commercialized, they even didn't probably follow the challenges. They just build to get the profit. But if speak really about the theoretical side of architecture and what are the challenges that we are speaking or like just talking about today, I think it's the climate change, probably not only in architecture. this is the problem of urbanization. And I think this, for me personally, these two main subjects are shaping the way architecture developing. So a lot of new firms are now focused on, let's say, designing or building with wood, using more ecological way of construction. Of course, if the country where they're building have this resource, like Latvia, for example, where 60% of territory are covered with forests. Or maybe I don't know, if it's Kazakhstan, then maybe it's a brick. So I'm trying to just to answer to this challenge. For the urbanization, I think I don't remember correct, but probably more than 4 billion people will need a new home for the next 20 years. So this is again, we should build these homes, and the question how they should be built, what is the future typology, what is the future material. So this is very important. I myself, maybe I don't have such a big experience maybe to give a statement. I think we need at least 20 years or 30 years even of experience. I just heard it yesterday from my boss Andris Kronbergs, who is a leading architect in ARHIS, to become an architect. So that's why I think that the participants should also listen us very carefully, because this is just a personal kind of statement. Yeah.
Sure, but out of these personal statements comes out the mosaic of what the field looks like, for people who are still young and creating it. So I think thank you for that perspective. It's also valuable, but I think it's still very valuable to see those opinions. And so, Solvita, I will now ask you your perspective on this. What are the tendencies shaping the field from your perspective on where it's going and shaping it really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, from my experience, of course, now this field, we have a lot of challenges. And what I see, like maybe the most three important is what Alysher also said, this ecological questions, like the wood is a new concrete, what we are trying to do now in Latvia and Scandinavia. This is one thing we have to start to look on the materials we are using. The world is running out of the resources, and that is a fact. So we as an architects have also this responsibility and have to look at this from our perspective, from a global perspective. The other thing is cost of operations. So this is the other thing we have to look at when we are making the projects, because the one thing is to build a building, the other thing is to operate it for the next 50, 60 or 100 years. And how we as architects will make this project as much as sustainable we can make it, it will impact this field. Yeah, and also what one of the challenges is the client brief. We have to educate our clients to get the best projects. And yeah, this is also one challenge. So to get a sustainable project, our client have to understand that he needs that project, because otherwise he will look only at the cost of the construction and nothing else. So this is this is our responsibility as architects. We have to deal in now, and I see this will impact our future 10, 20 years. Yeah. Thank you.
Very important. I will actually later ask another question about sustainability and that. But thank you for this. And Dagnija, on your side, what more on the design world? What are the tendencies shaping your profession?
Mm-hmm. I would say that in the past, now, and in the future, we are always putting the people in the center of everything. The tendencies are changing, but the people are in the center. But if talking about tendencies, what's happening now in design, we can see that designers are more active in solving the problem what is now. It's a COVID. We are more thinking about materials, and that also Solvita and Alysher said, but from design perspective, we are more thinking about materials which are antibacterial, which are easier to clean. For example, we need to talk and to think about the space, how we will modulate the space in new situations. For example, museums, they have a space, and they have, for example, touchscreen monitors, and how we can solve these problems and find new solutions, how to let people go to museums, feel like safe in the space, even it's interior or museum or public space, outside or inside. The safety is one of the aspects we need to think about. Also, how to make places safer from material perspective, from the people's perspective, and how to make new solutions. Yeah, that would be the main what's happening in design now.
Thank you. I will ask my next question a little bit about sustainability and innovation, those two things. Like, in your view, what is it exactly, and who does it serve? Because sometimes the client is not so sure. And well, who does it serve? Does it serve community? Does it like so sustainability and innovation, and who does the project involving those aspects serve in your maybe view? Solvita, how would you answer this, or what's your perspective?
I'm not sure I understood the question correctly, but this is very wide question. The sustainability, this is something that should be taught in first grade. You know, this is the question we are dealing already with many years and decades and centuries. And can you repeat like the main?
The main point, you could also focus on parts of it with the sustainability is already an important, but there are always like many talk about it. The sustainability now, so many talk about it. But my question is, who do you see it projects that have the sustainable dimension? Who do they actually serve? Who is the one to gain, and how is this managed in a client relationship?
Of course, we all gain. We all gain it as a community, as the world, as I don't know, as a city. Like each, we all should focus on that to gain back sustainable buildings, to lower the. As I said, we're running out of resources, so we need to think about our future. Not only our future, we can't change already anything, but about our kids' future, and so they will gain actually at the end. And so, as I said, I don't like actually this word sustainability anymore, because it's very wide and question, and we could discuss like in many hours about this. What is it actually, and how we should think about it in every task we do. We should focus on that. But yeah, so the real winners will be our future generation if we will focus on that now.
Thank you. That's a very good perspective about future generations. Alysher, what would you say on this question of sustainability and and yeah, and how it plays out. Who does it serve, and how can we get the message to the client, for instance, who's paying for it?
I think, yeah, it serves definitely for the future generations and of course our planet, because if we will not change the way of construction, I think there just won't be any future generations. So this is the main problem. Even only from the construction, from the conventional construction, the 40% of the CO2 emissions, it's coming from the construction. So, but generally speaking, like sustainable approaches or ecological, I don't know, maybe a way of development coming very hard to the industry, especially if talking about these innovative tools like wind turbines and I don't know, photovoltaic panels. It's very, very expensive, and not all the clients are willing to do it. So I think we maybe need to wait more years that it will become just as a traditional way of building. But for now it's only, I don't know, if say globally it's only maybe 5%. I don't know what is the percentage, but mostly it's just concrete buildings. So yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, Dagnija, what's your take on this, and where in your world of the design, how does sustainability come in, and how do clients react?
I think I would say a bit opposite opinion about this, because I think it's not for the future generation, it's for us, it's happening now. And I guess in design, it's easier to see it now, this sustainability aspect. In architecture, it's in a like a longer time maybe, but in design, yes, I would say it's now happening. We can think about sustainability and get it back now, and it will be for us. For example, we also got some, I think, 2 awards last month. It's European Cultural Network Award, and it's for sustainability in 2 of our exhibitions. For us, one thing is that if we are designing something, we are thinking more in meaningful about more in meaningful aspects, not to design something and to make world fuller and fuller of some design solutions or some solutions, but our approach is to design something meaningful. I would say less is more sometimes, not like quantity, but focus on quality. This is about sustainability because we are not producing something because just this is a production process and we need to do something, but focus on this meaningful aspect. Another is that, for example, we have 2 very nice examples of sustainability in designing exhibitions. Some 10 years ago, we designed exhibition which was for 6 months when the Riga was a cultural capital. And after these 6 months, we said what we are going to do with this exhibition, because it was a governmental museum or organization to whom we made this. And the government said, we doesn't need this and you can just throw it out. But we kept this exhibition, which was with materials, with the technological solutions and equipment. And after 4 years, we made 2 other exhibitions using all these materials. And what is very interesting that the first exhibition we made, it received the Red Dot Design Award. And after 4 years, we made 2 other exhibitions from this one with the same materials, and we also got the same award. And after some also years, we still have materials that we can use in other places, in other interiors or exhibition. It means that we are not throwing out some materials, but we are thinking how to redesign them, how to reuse them. And this is also about sustainability, and we can do that now, and how this sustainability now, not in the future.
Okay, very good. I have another question, and this is mostly the last question of any discussion. A very important question about the future and the career of the future, which in many ways is shaped by the tendencies we were just discussing, is in your field. And now you can be a little bit futuristic and a little bit, as a make prognosis. But imagine if you were just year one student right now, or somebody was a year one student in architecture. What kind of career would they be looking at 5 years from now in the field of architecture and design? And my question then is really, how would the careers maybe have shaped, changed? What would be important? And what will be the skills that will be valued in your industry? Solvita, how about you going first on this?
Our field is changing a lot now. What I see in architecture, as I'm working already 10 years, and even the digitalization, we can't stop it now. And it's each day I'm learning something new. And also this architecture will become, I think, will become a very digital profession. And of course, we will need to have a brains who think the main idea, the concepts that will probably stay. But already this artificial intelligence, what is happening now also in design, and I can just put in Excel how many workers I will have and how many conference rooms I will have, and with the one click, I'm getting the plans, which will be more functional. And already artificial intelligence is planning for me this functional planning. So this is already reality, and after 5 years, we will we'll work in that way. So yeah, digitalization and artificial intelligence will impact our profession very much, I think.
And I will do a follow-up question. Well, you own your own, you have your own also architect bureau,
Office.
right? So the skills required of students today, or more even the students of the future, what will be those skills in architecture that will have a premium? The skills, the thinking, what would that be that you value?
Analytic thinking. I think that's the main. Don't be a robot, I think those people who will think wider and can analyze, and risk analysis and all those things, and the ability to work in a team. I think that will be the most important. Yeah, otherwise it will be just clicking, and without any thinking. And I think those people who will continue processing and analyzing and giving the best result out of it, that will be important. Yeah.
Thank you. Analytical thinking. Thank you. Very important. Alysher, what's your futurist in you, the one predicting the future? What do you see is shaping that future in 5 years, and what skills and what skill sets are important?
Well, it's definitely digitalization, but I am maybe personally old-fashioned already architect, and I think against of it, and I'm trying to promote something like more natural, the natural way of design. I mean, I like sketching. Maybe it just came from my artistic side, or I'm always promoting the physical model making. So I know, maybe like in a again in Peter Zumthor workshop, or like in Kengakuma. But I see problems with these VR things. And also, a few weeks ago, I read an article on design that one company made this sorry but stupid program for generating the entire, like let's say, I don't know, some districts. So the program could generate district with I don't know, thousands of like variations, with 1,000 variations of buildings. This is like endless. And I think that then we kind of stop to think in a way. So this is a problem. I just remember one cartoon for adults. I think you saw it maybe, Valley. It calls Valley, when they were all living in this ship and sleeping in this like moving kind of, I don't know, like capsules, and just watching to the screen. And I'm just afraid that this is the future if we will not turn in a different way. So I think that some professionals must promote the way against this digitalization. This is just my personal view. No algorithms, just think by yourself, and that's it.
As a very valid and good and interesting perspective when you describe that possible future, and that we also have, it's up to us to create another future, perhaps. Thank you for that perspective. And Dagnija, what would you say? What would your feelings be about the future?
Mm-hmm. I would agree with Alysher, because we are the company and the team which is believing that the digital solutions will help us, but we should find a balance between digital and real life. And in our office, the most capabilities or the knowledge or the better knowledge are those that people know what is digital and they can work with these digital solutions, but in the same time they can use their brains and hands. We have two hands and brains, and that's the main thing that we have. And in our office, we are drawing a lot with the hands, yeah. And no, I can't believe that any of machines could do that in the future. And I would say that also we believe that in some 5-10 years, people will look for the real things, not just for the machines. They will go to theaters or to museums or some public spaces, and they will appreciate some real things, not to look on some digital solutions, because we have telephones, computers, I don't know, TVs, any digital solutions already in our everyday life. And I think we will appreciate more to have something real, to touch, to smell, to see, not with the digital technologies. And if talking about the professionals in the field of design, I would say that I agree with Solvita. It's absolutely that analytic thinking is must have, critical thinking is must have, open mind is must have, and possibility, or I would say the possibility to be open-minded and to see what's around and to react to the changes is must have to any person who is studying now. And yeah, that's from me.
Thank you. Thank you to the panelists. I think we did sketch quite an interesting future and talked about many aspects. And there are, of course, many other things to discuss very in the professions of architecture and design. But I think we touched quite a few of them. And so thank you very much, Alysher, Solvita, and Dagnija, for joining me for today's discussion on architecture and design. For those of you who are on the call, the students, Today there is one final, very, very interesting discussion on independent professionals. That one will be in Latvian. So it will be on a self-made career for, we've invited an influencer, a musician, and a coach, and we will in many ways discuss this this possibility that you are your own boss, and that you are creating your career as you want, and what are the illusions and realities in that world. So meanwhile, thank you so much for joining me, and I think that concludes today's today's recording, and that concludes today's Career of the Future Architecture and Design.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.